Let me ask you something right now. When was the last time you bought something? If you're like most people, it wasn't that long ago. Maybe yesterday, maybe this morning, or maybe you've got a cart full of stuff sitting in a shopping app right now, just waiting. Here's what I want you to really think about, though. How long did that good feeling last? Tearing open that package felt amazing in the moment. But 2 days later, that thing you just had to have is basically invisible. It's just there. So you start scrolling again. You find something else. You buy it. You feel that little rush. And then it fades. And the whole thing starts over. If that cycle sounds familiar, this video was made for you. We are living in the most stuff-saturated moment in all of human history. Seriously, the total number of objects that exist on Earth right now is greater than everything humanity owned across tens of thousands of years combined. Walk into any store and the shampoo aisle alone has dozens of options. You can pull out your phone right now and have something shipped from the other side of the world to your front door by tomorrow morning. But here's what's strange. All of this abundance, it hasn't made us happier. Not even close. Houses are more full than ever, but people feel more empty than ever. And that disconnect is worth paying attention to. Why do we keep filling the space when the filling never actually works? Why does having more leave us feeling like we need even more? By the time this video ends, you're going to understand two things. First, you'll understand the exact psychological mechanism behind why you keep buying, and why filling your space with more stuff makes the emptiness feel worse, not better. And second, once you understand that mechanism, the way you see things, literally things, will shift completely. This isn't a spend less money talk. This is a much bigger conversation about what you're actually trying to fill, and whether the thing you keep reaching for is ever going to do it. So let me start with a question. Right now, somewhere in your home, how many things do you own that you've already completely forgotten about? Still has the tags on it. Sits in a drawer after one use. A book you were so excited to read. That's been on the shelf untouched for months. Most people can think of 10 without even trying. And here's the part that matters. When you bought each of those things, you were sure. You thought, I need this. This is actually good. This is going to change something for me. That certainty felt real. So where did it go? And why does it always disappear in a few days? Here's what's happening in your brain. Your brain has a circuit that lights up hard whenever something new comes in. When you discover a product you like, when you add it to your cart, when you finally hit buy, your brain releases a surge of dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical. It creates that warm, buzzy, excited feeling. But here's the thing nobody tells you. That dopamine hit is not about having the thing. It's about wanting it. The moment you're scrolling, and you spot something that catches your eye, that's the peak. Adding it to your cart? Still high. Hitting checkout? Still good. But the moment that package arrives at your door, your brain has already started coming down from the high. Because the reward system in your brain was never designed to celebrate possession. It was designed to drive pursuit. That means what you were actually addicted to wasn't the thing itself. It was the chase, the anticipation, that feeling of something good being just around the corner. The object was just the excuse. And this is where it gets wild. Once that circuit gets activated enough times, it starts demanding more. Remember when a small, inexpensive purchase used to feel exciting? Now you can spend 3 times that much and barely feel anything. That's not you being ungrateful. That's the circuit recalibrating, needing a bigger hit to feel the same response. But the dopamine loop is only part of the story. There's another psychological force pulling us deeper in. And it's one most people never think about. It's the discomfort of empty space. Picture this. There's a completely empty room in your house. Nothing in it, just walls and floor. At first it seems fine. Kind of refreshing, even. But give it a few days. That empty room starts to feel wrong. Unfinished. Like something needs to be there. So you bring in a piece of furniture. Then something to put on top of it. Then a lamp. Then something on the walls. And slowly, without really deciding to, you've filled the entire room. This isn't laziness. It isn't wastefulness. It's biology. For hundreds of thousands of years, the human brain learned that empty meant danger. Empty meant you hadn't stored enough food for winter. Empty meant you weren't prepared. The people who stockpiled, who gathered and kept and collected, those were the people who survived. That instinct is still inside you right now. It's why you feel vaguely anxious when store shelves look bare. It's why you buy things on sale that you don't actually need. It's why a full closet feels somehow safer than a half-empty one. Even if you can never find what you're looking for. That survival instinct was genuinely useful once. Now, It's working against you. Because here's the irony that lives at the center of all of this. You'd think a full space would feel calm and secure. It doesn't. Research on cognitive load shows that every object in your visual field requires your brain to process it. Not consciously. You're not sitting there thinking about each item. But unconsciously, your brain is constantly, quietly scanning. What is that? Where did that come from? Does that need to be dealt with? When did I last use that? It never stops. Think about having 50 apps running in the background of your phone. You're not actively using them, but they're still draining your battery. That's what a cluttered space does to your brain. It drains you slowly, all day, without you realizing it's happening. And that's why people who live surrounded by a lot of stuff often feel exhausted for no obvious reason. They come home to rest and don't feel rested. They have a slow, ordinary day and still feel depleted by the end of it. Now stay with me, because this is where the cycle gets really cruel. You feel drained, so you want a quick mood boost. You open a shopping app. You find something exciting. You buy it. The thing arrives. It takes up space. That space drains you more. You feel more tired, so you want another mood boost. Round and round. If you don't see the structure, you can spend your whole life inside it without ever knowing. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but isn't there something to be said for surrounding yourself with quality things? And yes, absolutely. Objects that you genuinely use every day, that make your life measurably better. That bring real function into your routine. Those things absolutely improve quality of life. Nobody is arguing against that. But honestly, ask yourself how many of the things you've accumulated actually do that? If you look around, research suggests that for most households, roughly 20% of what you own is doing real, active work in your life. The other 80% is just there, taking up space, quietly costing you energy. So adding more doesn't elevate what you already have. It dilutes it. The things that actually matter get buried in the noise. So why can't we stop? If we know this, if we've lived through the cycle enough times to recognize it, why does the hand still reach for the app? This is the uncomfortable truth we actually have to sit with. Most of the time, we're not buying things because we need them. We buy when we're anxious. We buy when we're lonely. We buy when we want to feel seen or valued or impressive. We buy when we're bored and need something to happen. We buy when life feels out of control. And at least this one small decision feels like ours. The object is just the vehicle. What we're actually shopping for is a feeling. Think about it. When someone buys a new pair of running shoes, what they actually want is the version of themselves that laces up every morning and feels alive. When someone buys a new planner, what they actually want is the feeling of having their life together, clear and organized. When someone picks up a new kitchen gadget, what they actually want is to be the person who cooks beautiful meals and makes people feel taken care of. The product is the prop. The real desire is the identity behind it. And the moment you start seeing it that way, you get access to a much more powerful question. Do I actually need this thing? Or am I trying to buy my way into a feeling? That question alone, I promise you, will stop more impulse buys than any budgeting app ever could. Because we already know from experience that objects can't fix emotions permanently. Loneliness doesn't go away because you bought something. Anxiety doesn't dissolve because you own something new. The need to feel valued doesn't get met by a brand name. Those things only get filled through real human connection, through honest conversations, through small, meaningful moments in daily life. There's one more layer to this that I think is worth naming directly. From a very early age, most of us were taught to associate nice things with success. What kind of car someone drives, what brand is on their bag, what watch is on their wrist. We've been conditioned for a long time to read objects as evidence of worth. So it starts to feel like owning good things isn't just about comfort or convenience. It's about proving something, about demonstrating value. And if you never question that framing, you spend your whole life trying to establish who you are through what you own. But think about the people in your life who you genuinely respect. The ones you actually remember. Is it because of what they have? No, it's how they carry themselves. The way they talk to people. How they show up when things are hard. The steadiness they bring into a room regardless of what they own. Their stuff is just background. Their character is the point. And here's the quiet irony: the people with the most developed inner lives, the ones who seem most at ease with themselves, tend to want less. Not because they're denying themselves anything, but because they don't need objects to do the work their identity is already doing. The less you need to prove through your stuff, the less stuff you need. So what do you actually do with all of this? I'm not telling you to throw everything away and live with nothing. That's just swapping one extreme for another. Here's the one thing I'm actually asking you to try. The next time you feel the urge to buy something, wait one day. Just one. If you still want it tomorrow, fine. But in that window between the impulse and the purchase, ask yourself honestly. Do I need the object? Or do I need something else right now? Am I lonely, bored, overwhelmed, or is my brain just running its dopamine loop and pulling me along without my permission? That one question, practiced consistently, becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, you start seeing things differently. Not just products. Everything. Here's what I want to leave you with. The idea that more stuff equals a richer life might be the most sophisticated lie our culture ever told us. Real abundance doesn't come from having more options in your closet. It comes from genuinely loving the things you already chose. It doesn't come from a bigger space. It comes from a space that actually fits the life you're living. The opposite of abundance isn't scarcity. The opposite of abundance is endless wanting. And wanting more never satisfies itself. The more you feed it, the louder it gets. The only thing that actually quiets it is learning to find enough in what you already have. That's a skill, a real one, arguably the most important skill you can develop, while living in this era of infinite options and one-click delivery. And ultimately, this isn't really about money or stuff at all. It's about you. What do you actually want? What actually fills you up, not for 2 days, but for real? What kind of space makes you feel like yourself? What kind of life makes you want to stay in it? When you start looking for those answers inside yourself, instead of inside a shipping box, something begins to shift. The emptiness that couldn't be filled starts to ease. And when space actually opens up, genuinely opens up, the things that matter most finally have somewhere to land. Not things you can order. The warmth of a real conversation. A quiet morning with nowhere to be. The feeling that you're already enough, exactly as you are, right now. You cannot buy any of that. But the moment you stop trying to, it has a way of finding you. So here's your one thing for today. Next time you open a shopping app and you're about to buy something, pause. Just for a second, and ask, what am I actually looking for right now? That question, practiced once a day, will make your life lighter. And one morning, not long from now, you'll look around your space and see it completely differently. The empty spots won't feel like something missing. They'll feel like room to breathe. And that's where things actually start to change. If something in this video hit home, drop a comment below and finish this sentence in one line. What I actually want, more than anything, is. That one line might be the most honest thing you've said to yourself in a while. And it's completely free.